Bienvenido, welcome back to Pasa. Me llamo Daniel Jehl, News and Views. Here today with our technician and Tim Zink, who's really helping us out a great deal here. And basically, we're doing a show together here while Fernando Zapari is on vacation. Before we move on, Tim, to another topic, I want to promote something here. Last week on Pasa, Fernando Zapari interviewed some people, and they're from Winsong Pictures in Fort Wayne, Indiana, because they're doing a film festival. They're actually showing some films at IPFW, March 8th through the 11th. One is Walking With Us, which involves 52 Hispanic actors and actresses. It's a film about 6 angels on a mission to touch the lives of people. And another film called Alaska, The Last Frontier. Both are produced by Winsong Pictures. Michael Floyd, who's a English teacher at Southside High School in Fort Wayne, is in charge of it all and is doing an outstanding job on it. And he himself has won an award for his films in the past. So we will continue. We will bring this up again later. We will continue to promote this, but I just want to thank the people who were here for the show, and we will, as we get closer to March the 8th, we will be providing more information about this. It is free, so no one has to shell out money to order tickets in advance and go to Ticketmaster, and as we do for Bruce Springsteen and others. No, this one's free, so we will provide more information on it. Before we move on to our next subject, I would like to thank our sponsor. Our sponsor is John Rogers, attorney at law in Fort Wayne, Indiana. John Rogers provides a full-service menu of legal services for people in need of legal services with a free consultation, and then you go from there. He covers it all, and we're talking criminal cases, immigration questions. It can be immigration questions, immigration documents, discrimination issues, divorce cases, auto accidents. It's a full-service operation, and John Rogers offers it all. And if he can't help you, he'll tell you who can. But you have a free consultation up front simply by doing this. In English, by calling area code in Fort Wayne, Indiana. If you're ready to write this down, here we go. In English, 260-426-0674. In Espanol, 260-704-0682. We thank our sponsor, John Rogers, so that we can bring you shows like this on Pasa, where we have an opportunity with freedom of expression guaranteed by our founding fathers in the Estados Unidos. Some of them, as Tim has pointed out, have become presidents. It's called freedom of speech. It's called freedom of expression. If we lived in 15 other countries that I'm not going to name them all off, but I can tell you a few of them right off the top of my head, we couldn't be doing this. Mm-hmm. No, really, Tim, we couldn't be doing this. And we're not doing anything controversial here. It's not like that. What I mean is we have freedom of speech and freedom of expression. We talk political news and views, and we invite people, and we talk to political leaders. We had John McCauley on Friday, and he's running for Allen County Commissioner. Mayor Tom Henry from Fort Wayne, Indiana has been here. And in the future, we will have U.S. Senator Richard Lugar, co-sponsor of the DREAM Act. And the focus of that interview right here on Pasa will be the DREAM Act and Senator Richard Lugar. That's what I meant. Okay, Tim. Today is the 50th year anniversary of John Glenn's space flight. So before you say anything, I already know you're going to say I wasn't born yet. Am I right?
Well, I was around for his second space flight.
The second one, okay. But not the first one. He went, okay. Well, I was. Okay. Yes, today's the 50-year anniversary of John Glenn's spaceflight, and congratulations to John Glenn for getting all of that started. I remember when it was a reaction to Sputnik in '57. And it was 1957.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, what?
Yeah.
A Sputnik was from Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And we panicked. In America, we panicked. We thought, oh my goodness, how can the Russians be out there in space? And what are we doing about it? And all of a sudden, they moved up the agenda on that one. And we were out there up front. In fact, what's interesting, Tim, is that we've had combined space flights with the Russians since then.
Mm-hmm.
We're with astronauts from both Russia and America in the same, whatever they call them.
Same station, yeah.
Yeah, out there in outer space. But it began actually as a reaction to the Russians beating us to the punch. Okay, today, Tim, presidential election. Yes, it's President's Day, so let's continue to talk about it, but let's bring it up to date. We already know Barack Obama will be the Democratic candidate. Today's recent poll results from the USA Today, New York Times, ABC News, and any of them that do the polling show that Rick Santorum has 36%, Mitt Romney 8 percentage points behind, followed by Ron Paul and Newt Gingrich. Wasn't it like a month ago when it was the opposite of that? Wasn't Newt Gingrich?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's changed quite a bit.
I would say it's changed quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been like almost every candidate been the front runner except for these four, except for Ron Paul.
Except for Ron Paul, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except for Ron Paul. And actually, Ron Paul continues to run strong, and actually considers these victories for him because he's not giving up, and he's hanging in there.
He's hanging in there, and he will probably won't get the nomination, of course, but I shouldn't say of course, but he'll hang in there for the run of the thing.
And isn't he making a lot of good points on principles, including what we talked about earlier about the presidents?
Yeah.
He's reminding us all about where we came from with our founding fathers and liberties and freedoms. And
the benefit for him staying in there, even if it looks like he might not win, the benefit of staying in there is he can get his ideas out there, and he's more of a leader of a certain movement than like a leading presidential contender at this point. It's more like laying the seeds or something later on.
Tim, before we move on, and we are, by the way, for all the listeners who are tired of us talking about presidents, but it is President's Day, and we have that liberty. Have you ever met a president or a candidate for president?
Closest I've ever come is for 1 year. It was back in 2008. I was down at IU and Indiana University, for those who don't know what that is. That I saw Barack Obama's black bus go by, and he drove right past me, and that's about as close as I've ever come to a president or presidential candidate.
Isn't that interesting, though, because when we talk about a president, I mean, very few people have actually met the president. Actually, there's, 330 million people in the United States, and we have 50 states. I mean, we have one president, so it's kind of hard for people. No, I actually did meet Bill Clinton once, and he's been to Fort Wayne, by the way, Tim.
Really?
Well, 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and guess who he was promoting?
Hillary Clinton.
And outstanding speaker. I'll tell you what, this guy really is a great speaker. He's also a motivational speaker. I mean, anyway, we're done with. We got to move on. We have to move on here. Talking way too much about the presidents. Okay, let's see here. Okay, for people over the weekend, we're still recapping the weekend. Some of you, I believe, out there, listeners, went to Dover, Ohio, for the Consulado Móvil de Guatemala. That was Saturday and Sunday over the weekend in Dover, Ohio. And I know some people from the area here did go there, and some of you listeners in Ohio as well. But just to let you know, we will keep you up to date on this. The Consulado Móvil de Guatemala from the Guatemalan Consulate in Chicago, Illinois, will be coming back to Fort Wayne this spring, and it will be at St. Joseph's Catholic Church. We will give you all the information on that as we know it. And the next Consulado Móvil will be in March, and I can't believe it, Tim, that's like next month already.
Mm-hmm.
This will be Consulado Móvil de Mexico from the Mexican Consulate in, again, Chicago, Illinois. Will be here at St. Patrick's Catholic Church in Marzo in March. We will give you the details on that. I believe they're going to be here for 3 days. They were the last time, I know that. But we will provide you more information on that. And wow, what a weekend. All right, let's, gosh, okay, I know what we're going to talk about now. We're no longer talking about presidents, but maybe we are. I like the idea of having a parade. Does anybody not like parades? But let's have a parade for a right cause. What I'm bringing up is, if you haven't already figured this out, listeners, a parade for a war that ended, officially ended. It's the Iraq War. St. Louis, Missouri had a parade. They put it together in a matter of days, literally in a matter of days. Over 15,000 people attended well, in a way it was a funeral. I misspoke, but actually it was, because 4,400 casualties of war for Iraq. But it was a parade. It was to honor those who did not come back, the 4,400, and also those who did, and their families and so on. A tremendous success, and kudos and congratulations to St. Louis, Missouri. But that's been the only one. What do you think of the idea of having a parade for Iraq veterans in Fort Wayne, Indiana? Now, you can't just throw it together like tomorrow. You and I can't decide, tomorrow, Tim, we're going to have a parade. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking about a lot of planning and so on. I think the next parade option, when the window of opportunity is there, mm-hmm. is called, again, we're only weeks away, St. Patrick's Day in Marzo, in March. Literally less than a month from now. I believe the next one would be Memorial Day, mm-hmm. when there is a parade on Memorial Day. But not the idea of having a parade for the Iraq veterans and families in Fort Wayne, just doing it. Mm-hmm. Does that make any sense?
Like just organizing it and not putting it with another parade? Or
well, I'm wondering why there have not been more parades in St. Louis, Missouri. I think that's my question. Mm-hmm. Now, I know the Obama administration came out with a policy saying we should wait until the Afghanistan war is over, mm-hmm. and have a combined parade. But it wasn't like an official, I don't think. First of all, Obama cannot pass a law by himself without Congress. But it was something that came out of Obama's office, mm-hmm. President Obama's office, basically saying, let's encourage parades once the next war is over. We don't even know when that's going to be.
No. So it could be a while.
Why wait? Why wait? You know, mm-hmm. that's my thinking. Mm-hmm. So it's an idea that we're going to be discussing. I've got a phone call into the city of Fort Wayne mayor's office, mm-hmm. to find out, you know, whether that's possible. Because if it could be at the Allen County Courthouse, mm-hmm. On the green there, mm-hmm. it could be a parade literally right there, or a rally. Mm-hmm. All we need is a band and drummers and.
Have you ever thought about contacting like an American Legion post?
Talked to a representative from the VFW, very supportive of the idea.